It has all come down to this, my friends. Hello and welcome to the 2021 Elkhart County Historical Museum Collections Tournament Championship match. So today, after weeks and weeks of matchups and starting with 16 objects, we are now down to just only 2. And at the end of this video, we'll be down to just 1. That will be reigning as the tournament champion for this year. So the matchup, if you're unfamiliar, which you shouldn't be by now if you've been watching these videos, is Violet Schmidt's autographed book going up against Maude Essig's World War I trunk. Each staff member, today it'll be myself and Chloe, will have 2 minutes to describe these items and why each item should be the champion in this tournament. And you get to decide at the end. So, for the very last time in this tournament, and this very special matchup to determine the champion, let's send it out to the staff to tell the stories of their items. Okay, everybody, thanks for voting Maude Essig's trunk into the championship. I'm so excited to share more of the story with you. So last time we left off, it was June 25th, 1918. That same day, when Leo Moquin, the soldier from last tournament video, who was mustard gassed, was released from Base Hospital 32 in Maude Essig's care, 12 German soldiers were admitted to the hospital, and it was Maude's job to take care of them. Now, the German soldiers were very afraid, she wrote in her diary, and the reason they were afraid is that they always were told by their superior officers that if they were put in an American hospital, that they would be poisoned. They weren't poisoned. Maude gave them the care that they would anybody else. She doesn't say what happens to them after they're released, however. So that was June 1918. They were in there for a few weeks, and the next prominent part of her diary was in August 1918, where she takes a 9-day leave. She went all across France, mostly stopping and spending a lot of her time in Paris, where she sees the sights. She sees Notre Dame, the Arc de Triomphe. She also sees massive German guns that were captured and are on display in France. After returning after her 9-day leave in September of 1918, there was a big push on the front lines. And Maude was caring for, on the floor of the hospital, her floor, she was caring for up to as many as 160 men at a time, which was an all-time high. She had to compromise the care that she was giving them. Mostly, for example, when they were sterilizing equipment, the way they would sterilize things is spray it with Lysol. And it would stay that way and care for that many people all the way till November and the end of the war. With the armistice being signed on November 11th, 1918, the nurses celebrated by having a treat, a Hershey bar. Now, that ends World War I, but the story of this trunk and Maude Essig continues on. And if you want to hear the end of the story, vote this the champion of the tournament.
So here we are, the championships. I'm going to tell you a little more about Violet's train. So in 1934, about the time that Violet Schmidt started waving to the 20th Century Limited train twice a day, a movie was released. Now, this movie had connections to Elkhart County in that it was produced and directed by Goshen native Howard Hawks. It also starred his cousin, Hoosier Tornado, Carol Lombard, who was from Fort Wayne. Now, it also starred John Barrymore, who is the grandfather of Drew Barrymore. So at this point, it's like we're playing that game, 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, but Violet Schmidt edition, which is hilarious. Now, many film enthusiasts believe that this was the very first slapstick comedy style movie ever produced. And in 2011, the Library of Congress selected the 20th Century movie to be inducted into the National Film. It has come to be recognized as one of the era's finest film comedies, one that gave John Barrymore his last great film role and Carol Lombard her first. Century Limited once again brought incredible fortune to Hoosier natives. Now, I thought that this story was worth sharing, even though it doesn't directly involve Violet Schmidt, but it's her train. And this was, when I first came to the museum, This book was one of the first objects I researched, so Violet's story, the story of the 20th Century Limited, is really special to me in that way. Now, I hope you also think it's special, and thank you for letting me share Violet's story with you these past. I hope you vote this through as the championship winner, so don't forget to comment and vote.
Well, I, for one, am glad that I don't have to vote, because these stories and this history and these items are a really tough choice. Even with all the items we've been through, this is probably going to be the closest matchup. So you, though, have to decide. We can't decide for you. You have to decide. So watch the videos, rewatch them, ask your friends, ask your neighbors, ask your family, and try to get as much information, as much suggestions. And then leave a comment at these videos, either on the video posted on our museum Facebook page or the Elkhart County Parks YouTube page. Leave a comment. Only one of these items is going to be champion, and you get to decide. So it is a tense moment here at the museum as we decide which item's going to win. We can't wait to see what you said. Now, usually we're going to post this video on a Friday. Usually we announce the winner on Monday. But because this is the championship, we're going to extend it an extra day, and we're going to go into Tuesday. So you have until Tuesday of the following week to vote. So you can watch this over and over again, watch the previous videos, get the whole story of these items, and then vote. And from 2, we're going to go down to 1, and we're going to have a champion of the 2021 Elkhart County Historical Museum Collections Tournament. So vote. We want to thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the entire tournament. And in the end, we only have one champion.